Welcome viewers to Deja Vu Chronicles, where we journey through history to unravel the mysteries of the past and draw lessons for the present and future. Today, we delve into one of the most haunting chapters of the 20th century, the rise and fall of Adolf Hitler. Through this historical exploration, we aim to uncover vital lessons that remain shockingly relevant in our world today. Adolf Hitler's actions and beliefs led to the suffering and death of millions of people, making him responsible for one of the darkest periods in human history. That said, if we were to search for any positive traits, it could be noted that he was a charismatic orator. He had a talent for public speaking, which he used to manipulate and influence the masses. However, it is crucial to emphasize that charisma alone does not constitute a good characteristic, especially when it is used to spread hate and fuel violence. Hitler's speaking abilities were tragically misused to promote a dangerous ideology based on prejudice, discrimination, and violence. The rise, the making of a dictator. Born in Austria in 1889, Hitler's early life was marked by ambition and deep-seated prejudices. His rise in the Nazi Party was meteoric, driven by powerful oratory skills and manipulative propaganda. Hitler's ability to exploit social and economic unrest allowed him to seize power. In the tumultuous aftermath of World War I, a man would rise to power, leaving an indelible mark on history. Adolf Hitler's rise to power in Germany was a complex process that involved a combination of political cunning, propaganda, and exploiting the socio-economic climate of the time. Here's a detailed explanation of how he achieved his ascent. After World War I, Germany was in a state of economic and political chaos. The Treaty of Versailles had imposed heavy reparations on Germany, leading to hyperinflation and widespread unemployment. Hitler, a charismatic speaker, blamed Jews, communists, and international conspiracies for Germany's problems, tapping into the frustration and anger of the German people. In 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, Nazi Party. He quickly rose through the ranks due to his exceptional oratory skills and passion for nationalist and anti-Semitic ideas. In 1923, Hitler and the Nazi Party attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch in Munich. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested. During his trial, he gained significant media attention and used the courtroom as a stage to spread Nazi propaganda. While in prison, Hitler wrote his autobiography and political manifesto, Mein Kampf. In this book, he outlined his racist and anti-Semitic ideologies, as well as his plans for Germany's future. Mein Kampf became a foundational text for the Nazi Party. After his release from prison, Hitler focused on rebuilding the Nazi Party. He recruited influential supporters, established a paramilitary organization, the SA, and organized propaganda campaigns to promote Nazi ideologies. The global economic depression of the 1930s hit Germany hard. Hitler and the Nazi Party used this crisis to gain support, promising to rebuild the economy and restore Germany's former glory. Their populist message resonated with the unemployed and disillusioned citizens. In the early 1930s, the Nazi Party participated in elections, steadily gaining seats in the Reichstag, German parliament. In 1932, they became the largest party in the Reichstag, although they didn't secure an absolute majority. In January 1933, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Hitler as Chancellor of Germany, believing he could be controlled. Hitler's appointment was facilitated by backdoor political dealings and the support of conservative politicians who believed they could use him to suppress communism. After becoming Chancellor, Hitler moved quickly to eliminate political opposition. The Reichstag fire in February 1933 was blamed on communists and used as a pretext for the Reichstag fire decree, which suspended civil liberties. The Enabling Act, passed in March 1933, gave Hitler dictatorial powers, effectively ending democracy in Germany. Hitler used a combination of propaganda, violence, and legal measures to eliminate opposition parties, trade unions, and any voices critical of the Nazi regime. He also established concentration camps to detain and suppress political dissidents. Through these strategic moves and the exploitation of historical circumstances, Hitler consolidated his power, leading Germany down a path that would eventually result in World War II and the Holocaust. His rise serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of demagoguery, political manipulation, and the consequences of unchecked power. Lesson 1. Manipulation of fear and nationalism. Hitler's rise underscores the dangers of leaders who manipulate fear and nationalism for personal gain. It reminds us to critically analyze political rhetoric and be vigilant against divisive tactics. Adolf's peak, the Holocaust and World War II. At the height of his power, Hitler unleashed unimaginable horrors, orchestrating the Holocaust and plunging the world into World War II. His militaristic aggression and genocidal policies caused immense suffering and death. The peak of Adolf Hitler's power occurred during the late 1930s and early 1940s, marked by a series of political, military, and ideological triumphs. This period was characterized by the expansion of Nazi Germany, economic recovery, and a carefully crafted facade of stability, all of which contributed to Hitler's unprecedented influence. After becoming Chancellor in 1933, Hitler swiftly dismantled democratic institutions and established a totalitarian regime. The Enabling Act of 1933 granted him sweeping powers, effectively making him the dictator of Germany. Political opponents were suppressed, and concentration camps were used to silence dissent, solidifying Hitler's control over the country. Through programs like the Four-Year Plan, Hitler aimed to achieve economic self-sufficiency, reduce unemployment, and boost industrial production. Public works projects, such as the construction of the Autobahn, created jobs and instilled a sense of national pride. Propaganda campaigns, led by Joseph Goebbels, glorified Hitler and the Nazi regime, creating an image of stability and prosperity. In 1936, Hitler ordered the German military to reoccupy the Rhineland, which had been demilitarized by the Treaty of Versailles. This move violated international agreements, but was met with minimal resistance from France and Britain, showcasing Hitler's audacity and the reluctance of other nations to confront him militarily. In 1938, Hitler successfully orchestrated the Anschluss, the annexation of Austria into Nazi Germany. The Austrian government was coerced into accepting the Union, demonstrating Hitler's ability to expand German territory without facing significant opposition. Later, in 1938, Hitler exploited the appeasement policies of Western powers in the Munich Agreement. Germany, Italy, France, and Britain agreed to the dismemberment of Czechoslovakia, with Nazi Germany gaining the Sudetenland. Hitler's aggressive territorial expansion was met with diplomatic concession, further boosting his confidence. The zenith of Hitler's power came with the invasion of Poland in September 1939. This event marked the beginning of World War II. Hitler's military strategies, including blitzkrieg tactics, were initially successful, leading to the rapid conquest of Poland and the occupation of several other European nations in the following years. One of Hitler's most significant military victories was the fall of France in 1940. German forces swiftly defeated French and British troops, leading to the occupation of France. This victory established Hitler as a military genius in the eyes of many, both within Germany and internationally. Internally, Hitler continued to propagate his racist ideology, leading to the implementation of discriminatory laws against Jews and other minority groups. The Nuremberg Laws and the Kristallnacht program were part of this systematic persecution, enforcing the Nazi ideology of Aryan supremacy. During this zenith of power, Hitler's aggressive foreign policy, military successes, and ability to maintain internal control created an illusion of invincibility. However, this period of apparent strength would eventually give way to the eventual downfall of Nazi Germany as the war escalated and the Allies mounted successful resistance. Lesson 2: Human Rights and International Cooperation. Hitler's atrocities emphasized the importance of safeguarding human rights and promoting international cooperation. We must stand united against hate and discrimination, nurturing empathy and understanding among diverse cultures. The downfall: lessons in accountability. In the end, Hitler's regime crumbled under the weight of its own cruelty. The Nuremberg trials held Nazi leaders accountable for their crimes, establishing a crucial precedent in international law. Adolf Hitler's fall was a series of events that led to the collapse of Nazi Germany and the end of World War II in Europe. Here's a detailed explanation of the events that marked his downfall. In 1942-1943, the German army suffered a catastrophic defeat at the Battle of Stalingrad. This battle was a turning point in the war, resulting in the surrender of the German Sixth Army. After Stalingrad, the German forces on the Eastern Front began a gradual retreat, facing fierce resistance from the Soviet Union. The Allies, particularly the British Royal Air Force and the United States Army Air Forces, intensified their bombing campaigns over Germany. Cities were heavily bombed, causing significant damage to infrastructure, industry, and civilian morale. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched the D-Day invasion, landing in Normandy, France. This marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany in Western Europe. The Allies pushed the German forces back, liberating France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The Soviet Red Army launched a massive offensive on the Eastern Front in 1944-1945. By early 1945, they had advanced deep into German territory. In April 1945, Soviet forces surrounded Berlin, leading to a brutal battle for the city. On April 30, 1945, as Soviet forces closed in on his bunker in Berlin, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. He shot himself in the head, and his body was later found by his staff. Hitler's death symbolized the end of the Nazi regime, although fighting continued in various parts of Germany for several more days. After Hitler's death, Grand Admiral Karl Dönitz briefly assumed leadership. Realizing the inevitable defeat, Dönitz authorized the unconditional surrender of all German forces to the Allies. On May 7, 1945, Germany surrendered, and the next day, May 8th, was celebrated as Victory in Europe, VE Day. After the war, surviving Nazi leaders were put on trial for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide at the Nuremberg trials. Several top officials, including Hermann Göring and Rudolf Hess, were convicted and sentenced to death or long-term imprisonment. After the war, Germany was divided into 4 occupation zones controlled by the United States, Great Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. This division eventually led to the Cold War and the establishment of East and West Germany. Adolf Hitler's fall marked the end of the Nazi regime and brought an end to one of the darkest chapters in human history. His legacy serves as a haunting reminder of the atrocities committed during World War II and the importance of preventing such ideologies from resurfacing in the future. The Holocaust was a horrific and systematic genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany during World War II, resulting in the systematic persecution and murder of approximately 6 million Jewish people, along with millions of others, including Romani people, LGBTQ+ individuals, disabled individuals, political dissidents, and others deemed undesirable by the Nazis. Under Adolf Hitler's regime, the Holocaust saw the establishment of concentration camps, extermination camps, and mass shootings as part of the final solution. Innocent men, women, and children were subjected to forced labor, starvation, medical experiments, and brutal living conditions in concentration camps. Additionally, gas chambers were used in extermination camps like Auschwitz, where victims were killed en masse, their bodies disposed of in mass graves or crematoria. The Holocaust stands as one of the most egregious examples of human cruelty, intolerance, and the dangers of unchecked prejudice. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of promoting tolerance, understanding, and empathy to prevent such atrocities from happening in the future. Lesson 3. Upholding justice and accountability. Hitler's downfall teaches us the importance of justice and accountability in the face of tyranny. It reminds us to stray away from inhumane wrongdoing and ensure leaders are answerable for their actions. Conclusion. The rise and fall of Adolf Hitler stand as a chilling reminder of humanity's capacity for both darkness and resilience. By understanding this history, we equip ourselves with the knowledge needed to prevent such atrocities from ever occurring again. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Deja Vu Chronicles. Let us learn from the past so we can shape a better, more compassionate future. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember, history, though sometimes haunting, is our greatest teacher.